Hi, friends. Once again, you are welcome to Empowerment Talks with Comfort Convo. Today, we are privileged to see one of the powerful sisters in the house. She is always there. You actually see her in action and you hardly or you never see her face because if you are a founding member of Unpassive and you have been on any chat forum, you are always here. Her presence is always noticed. And today we have the privilege to see her sit right here and talk to us live. So, guys, subscribe, share, invite friends and family as I welcome our own sister Rose, all the way from South Africa. Sister, you are welcome to Empowerment Talks.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and hello, found my fellow founders from other parts of the world.
Hi,
A big hug from me and South African teams to all of you. Thank you.
I believe they will all receive it, and everybody will surely be happy to see you here live because your name is all over the place, and now we are putting a face to it. So thank you. It's a pleasure that you're here.
That's great.
Yeah. All right. So we would like you to tell us a bit about yourself.
Oh, fantastic. Where do I start? My name is Rose Mutabi, a born and bred South African, a mother of two beautiful daughters and one prettiest boy, and a grandmother of two beautiful daughters. What more can I ask for? Comfort?
Just say thank you, Lord.
I'm so grateful for all what the Lord has done for my family.
Amen.
And, you know, others to follow will be a cherry on top.
All right.
For what I have for my family, I'm so grateful.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And just to carry on, I'm an educator by profession. And I taught for 16 years. But sometimes, you know, as you move through the journey, you realize that the salary is not enough. And what else can you do as a person? You know, with teaching during those years, salaries were very little. I could not do things that I wanted to do. The salary that I was earning could not, you know, make ends meet. Then I decided to take an offering just to check on the other side of the road what is happening. And I resigned from the teaching fraternity in 1999. It's been a long time.
Right.
After I resigned, I stayed for 1 year, you know, home,
Right.
just, you know, to acclimatize myself with the situation, but at the same time shopping around from the corporate sector because that's where I wanted to go.
Right.
And whilst I was still in the teaching fraternity, I was preparing myself to join the corporate sector. My studies with the university, I was tuning myself. I was actually, you know, directing myself to one day join the corporate sector. And in 2001, that's when I joined one of the biggest company in South Africa. And I thank God that I was able to join that company.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked for 11 years for that company. And because it was a bit a distance, you know, from where I stay, you know, along the way, then I decided to come back nearer home. And you know, it is a norm to me when I want to do something, I would always, inform the men above, just to give me some guidance, just to open doors for me. And as I was planning to come back nearer home, because I informed him that I want to come back home, I want to come to work nearer home. And the man above, as he normally does to me when I ask, he opened 3 doors for me, you won't believe. I was able to be interviewed for 3 jobs, and the 3 offers came at the same time.
That's really
It was a pick and choose, 3 offers at the same time.
right.
And I was able to look at them and said to myself that, wow, I'm going to pick up the one which satisfies me with the salary. And that's when I was able to choose the company I'm working for right now.
Okay.
So, as I was, traveling my journey with this company, I realized that, life demands a lot. Life demands a lot. Salary was never enough, and I had to shop around and look for something that will augment my salary. And I ended up, getting involved to some several online businesses. But to tell you the honest truth, as one of our greatest leaders, Charles Sosson, normally say, they all took a nose down. I never succeeded.
Right.
I never succeeded up until one of my dearest friend met her friend who introduced us to On Passive.
Wow.
Then, I was so reluctant. I was so reluctant to join the meeting when I was invited to that meeting. More especially, it was during the week when I was from work and I was tired, and the meeting was around 7 o'clock in the evening. And to think of driving again for about, 20 minutes, for me, it was a go or not go situation. But I ended up getting into my car, comfort, just to join that meeting, because I told myself that, what if this meeting, it is for something that will change my life for better? Then I drove to join the meeting. When I arrived there was this lady who took us through the presentation. And still my attentiveness was not that much because of the fatigue, that I was. But as this lady was taking us through, I grabbed about 3 things that she mentioned. She said, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, we were about 6 in that meeting. With this company, there is no recruiting. There is no selling of any product. And we are going to enjoy our financial freedom. Just there, I started to pay more attention. I said to myself, if this lady can tell us that there is no recruiting, there is no selling of any product, and we are going to enjoy our financial freedom, it means this is where I belong, because I failed from where I come from. I could not build a team. I could not follow up people from behind. It was hectic for me. So if this lady is telling us that this is what we are going to benefit, that's where I belong.
Wow.
Then, I listened up to the end of the presentation. At the end of the presentation, I did not want to hesitate. I just told her that, you know what, because of what you mentioned, just register me now, I'm ready. That's how I came to become a founder to OnPassive.
Wow. I know that is, I'm just, thank you so much for walking us through your entire life journey until landing exactly where we are about to be today, right? It's so interesting. And that's why I call this platform empowerment platform, because when you share your story, someone relates to, and then they see where they want to continue from. Somebody who thought that was all, and then you just let them know that no, it's just the beginning, right? So
Yes.
yes, I really appreciate that. So when you finally took the decision to join, you have not sat down. You are just like myself, because you don't go to sleep. Each time I post a video or somebody says something, you are always there to give a pat on the back and you push us forward. So what is that particular thing that keeps you moving, about OnPassive? What's particular about OnPassive that you can't just go to sleep?
You know what?
Apart from the three, I understand that the three, you don't recruit, you don't do any publicity, but you have total financial freedom. Is there anything else we need to know about that?
Comfort, you know what? After I jumped in to be part of the biggest family that we are now within OnPassive, I realized so many things that are happening within OnPassive. Yes, it is more. There are more. There is more to OnPassive than money. Everybody should believe that came to OnPassive looking for some extra few dollars or few rands to what she is earning or to what he is earning. But, I realized something, that the love that is prevailing from within, it is so immaculate. I happened to listen to the webinar, the first webinar, whereby Mr. Mufara was the one, talking. I could feel the love direct from his heart. I could feel the sense of belonging. I could feel that this is a home. It is a cul-de-sac point. I'm not going anywhere. This is where I'm going to stay. And from the founders that I mingle with, as I attend these webinars on daily basis, or almost on daily basis, I realize that even though we haven't met physically with one another, but there is this love that I don't know where is it coming from. As I'm alone thinking, deeper about this love that I see within OnPassive, I realize that this love, we are actually copying or getting this love from our CEO. A man who doesn't even know us. A man who has never met with anybody, but he is saying to all of us, come, I'm going to share my wealth with everybody, with you guys. That is love. Nobody can be able to do what Mr. Mufara is doing with his brilliant wife behind. And again, another thing that I picked up, as founders, we can tolerate one another. There's a lot of tolerance from the groups that have been created. We say things there, but we can tolerate one another. Another thing that I have picked up, we respect one another. As an individual, I may, step somebody on his toes or on her toes.
Right.
But I come back and realize that, you know what, this person is my sister, this person is my brother. Why do I have to do that? Let me go back and apologize. That is part of respect. Another thing that I picked up on Passive, has made things possible for all of us to connect. Can you imagine over 212 countries around the globe? Today, I know you. If it wasn't on Passive Comfort, I wouldn't know a person like Comfort.
Exactly.
You wouldn't know a person like Rose in South Africa. But on Passive is connecting us in a big way. We know so many people, from the groups that have been created. It is because of On Passive. We are just a one big family. And the most important thing that I have heard other founders talking from time to time about it, that is patience. For On Passive to have developed these products from the ground up, as founders, other founders, we thought maybe it is the company that will change our lives the following day, only to find that that is not. We just have to exercise our patience. And we are indeed exercising our patience. So myself as one of the leaders in South Africa, after realizing all this happening, or all this that I've picked up since I joined to become a founder of On Passive, I stood up. I asked myself, Rose, what is it that you can contribute to your fellow man?
Wow.
What is it that you can contribute to people around you? Then I took it upon myself and start sharing this beautiful business to other people around me. I started with my family and I extended that to my friends. And guess what I did? I realized that all these people that I have registered to become founders, they were so reluctant. And I started attending webinars to learn more about this business.
Right.
And I realized that because they are not attending webinars, they will be left behind. They will be left behind. They will never understand this business.
Mm-hmm.
what Michael Williams, one of the greatest leaders, is doing, that's what I'm doing as well. For all the groups, for all the teams in South Africa that I have, when our CEO joins the webinar, I make sure that I listen very, very attentively to take minutes as he speaks, so that I can share what I have, compiled with my teams. This is what I'm doing, Comfort.
Thank you so much. This is just so amazing, right? You know, Rose, I've been telling people, right, in my own words, that Unpassive is a university, it's a whole study, it's a new life, and you need to study it in order to understand. But I've never made a presentation like the one you have just made so that somebody finally understands why it is, right? But you have, like, the teacher in you is just inborn. You left the classroom a couple of years ago, but the teacher is still there. Thank you so much for this wonderful expose. And I think it's going to touch lives because, to be honest, we have learned a lot and you have just put it in the most perfect way that like no one else could do. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah. You have said a few things. I want to take us a step or two back again, right? You know, you have gone through this, like from teaching to taking a break and just figuring yourself out and then going back to the corporate and then finally landing on passive. But you said something which was very important. You said in those days, salaries were not good. I can assure you that today they're still not good, because when I left the university a couple of years ago, I thought the salary was ridiculous, right, as a teacher. So, and there are certain things you would have loved to do that you could not do because of not enough salary. What do you think? What value do you think Unpassive is going to add to your life when we launch?
You know what? I can't wait. I can't wait for the launch. I can't wait for the launch because I can see so much that I'm going to do when we start receiving the apples.
Right.
And I think that there is so much lying ahead of me.
Right.
Every time I always say to myself, I haven't arrived where I want to go.
Amen.
I'm still on the journey, but I can see that Unpassive is going to make everything possible for me to reach my destination. You know, there is this thing of traveling abroad. There is this thing of traveling abroad. How can one travel without having enough funds?
Exactly.
I'm one person who loves beautiful things. How can I afford to do those beautiful things if I don't have enough funds? But I can see that Unpassive, is going to make everything possible for me to can be able to achieve all those.
Right.
And another thing, I'm so lucky, a Comfort, that for the 3 children that we have, we were able to raise them up, myself and my husband. And when my husband passes on, in 2016, I was only left with our last born to take her through university level. And I thank God that she completed what she wanted to achieve from the university. And now she is working. And she is so clever, so intelligent. God makes miracles.
Right, exactly.
So I'm so lucky that at this point in time, I don't have any child to take him or her to school. I'm done with the schooling. All what I want to achieve, I just want to live a luxurious life. That's all I want to. That's all I want to see happening. And On Passive is going to make everything possible for me to have all those.
Yeah. You know one thing, Rose, you are African like myself. One thing is we know our backgrounds, where we come from. There are times it's difficult to proudly say, I want to live a luxurious life. But Ash has made it in such a way that you say it without guilty conscience. Because no matter how much you live in luxury, there are enough apples to share around. So you are not like, I am eating these apples this much when others are starving. It is no longer going to be there, right? So I think I do say that too. We never used to say that before, but now we say it without any fear of anything because it's enough for everybody. So what are some of the ideas do you have in mind or to propose to people? We share ideas so that people can pick and also get something to do to help. How do you plan to give back to your community or to mankind, as Ash would really love?
Oh yes, you are so right, Comfort. You know what? I have a big project actually lying ahead of me. And I wouldn't say this project is lying ahead of me alone. You know, it is lying ahead of me together with my two brothers and my two sisters.
Mm.
In 1996, I lost my mother and my brother with other closest family members in a bus crashed with a petrol truck. This bus collided with a petrol truck, and this bus, there were about 65 passengers in this bus. And this bus was from a funeral to bury one of the family members. So my mother and my brother were one of those who, joined the people to bury that person. On their way back, that's when this terrible accident happened. And out of that accident, about 22, if I'm not mistaken, survived, but with terrible injuries. And the rest, including my mother and my brother, they were burned beyond recognition. And all these people who passed on, they were buried in one grave because we couldn't be able to identify our family members as they were burned beyond recognition. And for them being buried in one grave, guess what the government has done? They just came and put a frame of a tombstone, a tombstone that always, whenever we visit the graveyard, we are crying. So it is my intention, together with my sisters and my brothers, to ensure that that tombstone becomes a real tombstone, so that every member of the family who was affected by then and who is affected even by now becomes happy. And to think of these people who got involved in this terrible accident, most of them left small kids behind. And the government, since they told us that they will come back to make sure that these kids will be taken to school, they never came back. They never came back. It is always our question to say, we wonder, how did they survive? How those children survived with no parents around, with no parental guidance around. It is my dream to go back to them and look for them you know, to ensure that at least we change their lives somehow, some way. I know for sure that most of them, they were never, never, you know, had an opportunity to go back to school after the passing of their parents. Moreover, the government never came back to ensure that those children, you know, are taken back to school. So it is one of my plans, you know, to make sure that together with my brother, my sister, who are the founders as well, this project, it is our first project. Once we start receiving the apples from ONPASSIVE. And from there, we grew from, you know, a village whereby most of the family members were suffering. Some of the family members, they don't even know what a grocery, a monthly grocery is.
Yeah.
You know, being a founder of ONPASSIVE, with all the blessings that we are going to receive, one has to look back and plow back and give back.
Exactly.
And to check, you know, from the community where we grew from, that what is it that one can do, you know, to leave a legacy in the village. It's what I'm thinking. You know, I'm dreaming big. Our CEO mentioned that we must dream bigger and double our dreams. That's what I'm doing. I'm dreaming big and I'm doubling my dreams.
Yes. I think I'm just happy. You know, one thing, when you were telling this story, I was almost getting like sad. I said, no, it's all done. And it's just suddenly transformed from a biological family thing to the whole entire world family thing. Because it is no longer left on the shoulders of you and your brothers and sisters anymore. It's our thing, right? Because
Absolutely.
each and every ONPASSIVE member will want to be part of it and come there in person to launch the big foundation of whatever we put out there in their memory. That is why we are here. It's not just to tell and want people. We are not evoking pity. We are telling people this is what we are going to do because we are happy and blessed that we can do that. I really thank you so much for sharing, and it's such a wonderful blessing. So thank you. And I wouldn't let you go because, you know, ONPASSIVE is about products. The apples are our products, or the apples we bear from the product. So what are some of your best and maybe why?
You know what? Products that I love most, I wouldn't say actually there are certain products that I love most. I love all the products equally.
Right.
I love all the products equally for the mere fact that they are all going to generate apples for us.
Right.
But I can nominate two from them to talk about.
Right.
The Obless and the Academy. More especially, I was an educator and I know what Academy can be of beneficial to all the educators, or the, you know, the education fraternity.
Right.
You know, what I like about Obless is that what a blessing to have this product.
Right.
Because it will connect, you know, people seeking financial assistance. I know for sure that, as you indicated, that this project that is lying ahead of us, it's not, you know, our project alone.
Right.
You know, there will be, you know, other people around us who can assist us, to can be able to achieve this.
We will all chip in.
Precisely. And I know for sure that with Obless, we are going to achieve what we are going to do.
Right.
And what I like about Obless as well is that, you know, it offers, us the gateway to start, our crusades. And to think of, charities that are there, they want to proceed, they want to go forward, but financially they cannot. So us as founders, we will be able to walk around and see where we can go in, where we can jut in to assist. And about Academy being a product whereby you learn and you can earn uninterruptedly, it's a very good product for education.
Right.
It is my wish that for each and every educator that I come across, that they can understand what I'm talking about when I'm telling them about, I'm sharing with them about Academy, because it will give the best e-learning platform that comes up with a blend of technology. I wish they could understand this. And moreover, this Academy, it will have courses that are curated by the best educators across the globe. That is my wish, that they could understand this. But it is difficult, to most of them, because they think when you approach them, you are bringing, companies like the ones they knew before. And most of them, they took a nose down. They don't know what we have in our hands.
Right.
They don't understand. But because On Passive is not about recruiting comfort, I talk with a person once, and when she doesn't get it, or when he doesn't get it, I leave. I just leave.
Right. Exactly.
I just leave. I don't, repeat myself to a person telling him or her about same thing, because I'm not recruiting her or I'm not recruiting him. On Passive is not about recruiting.
Exactly.
It's about sharing.
Wow.
So those are the two products that I can talk about. But for me, I love all the products, the whole ecosystem. I love it.
Sure, they're all ours, and so why not? We love them indiscriminately.
Absolutely.
Knowledge, they say, is power. Just like you said before, what you have now to offer, because you can only give what you have, right? And you have something to offer friends and loved ones concerning On Passive, because you had to study. You had to attend from one webinar to the other just to get what it's all about, to in order to be able to share with others, right? So based on that, what advice would you like to give, especially to those who are new founders or those who joined some long time ago and they have no clue at what level we are now?
To founders who just joined recently to become founders, my advice to them is that in order for you guys to understand the business, you must attend the webinars. Our leadership council members, they tear themselves apart to ensure that we understand this business better. We have the recorded webinars for each and every webinar. If you failed or if you were unable to attend a webinar, go back to your back office and listen to the recorded webinars. By so doing, you will be able to understand the business better, and you'll be able to share. You'll be able to, to be proud when you talk about OnPassive to people. But if you don't have, or if you don't, attend webinars, you'll be left behind. You'll be clueless. And what is it that you are going to share with people about? So to attend a webinar, it is a key. And yes, we are battling financially, to can buy data. Like us in Africa, we buy data in order for us to go into the webinars.
Yeah.
But you know what? There are leaders, I should believe, who are within OnPassive, founder leaders who are within OnPassive, to all these leaders who are within OnPassive. I should believe that we must, learn from the best of the best, being our leadership council members.
Right.
To learn more of the business and be able to share what we know to other fellow founders who are unable to join the webinars because of financial constraints.
Right.
Who can be able to afford that.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, sis.
That is that, Comfort.
Yeah, I think that was enough wisdom to our people, and they say to a wise, or to a word to a wise is enough. I think you have said a word, and it was time well spent, and I really do appreciate all you do. Keep on keeping on. It feels really good when you come and tell us good job, thank you, congratulations. It feels really good. So your presence actually out there is being felt, and given that you have added a face to it today, makes it even more at least sweeter to us. So thank you, and we wish to have you back here again anytime soon as the need arises. So have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Comfort. Thank you so much.
Thanks, and bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.